head coach Ben Olsen of Houston Dynamo. Coach, can you get us started?
What team? Sorry, what team are we?
On the right.
We're on the right?
On the right.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Sure. Coach, can you get us started with some words on tonight's match?
I'll just go with questions if that's okay with everyone.
Sure, absolutely. We'll start right here up front.
It seems like in points of the match, both teams were trying to slow down the tempo. What was your strategy in taking that time, slowing down the tempo, and what were you guys looking for?
Well, we weren't purposely. We're very rarely are trying to slow down the tempo of the game, but there are some moments where we have to get into our shape and build and try to break other teams down. So sometimes that looks a little bit slow, but the tempo itself needed to be high. We needed to chase the game. We were down. We needed to win the game, but we wanted to do that in a patient way and still stick to who we are. And I thought for the most part we did that. We were just off a little bit, and again, advancing the ball into their half. I thought the first half we played very well. We rushed it then. Once we got into some good spots, I thought we took the wrong choice, or the ball was just a hair off. Can I attribute some of that to some heavy legs and some heavy minds? Just it's been a lot, and it's been a lot of games up until this point, and I give our guys a lot of credit. A lot of minutes for some of those guys out there, and they're pushing through. And I said it's a little mental fatigue, but they still end up on a day against the champs in their building, get a tie and make it interesting there down the stretch. 4 minutes is a joke. It was the same type of second half that we had in Houston, and there was 8 plus whenever they scored. So it would have been nice if they added up the penalty and all the rolling and the stoppage time and the wasting time from basically the second half to add up the real time. So stoppage time is just, it's a complete roll of the dice now. You could get 4 or you could get 15. So that part I think could get cleaned up, but whatever.
Do we have any other questions here in the room? If not, we'll move on to online questions. We'll go with Jorge Sapon. Jorge, can you speak loudly so Coach can hear you through our laptop here?
Hey there, Coach. Obviously very unfortunate with the result, but you mentioned the fatigue, tired legs. Are you a bit relieved right now with the thin depth that the team has?
Am I relieved that we lost the Open?
No,
relieved that we
not. But
in CONCACAF.
One less tournament you have to worry about with such a crunch time.
No, I don't think relief is my emotion right now. However, if there is a silver lining to losing, it is that we can now focus on the league and kind of start to get into hopefully some week-to-week soccer and build and have some training sessions to continue to grow. So I don't think we're far off. And again, it's been a good start considering we're missing some guns and we've had some injuries, and overall the way we've played, and we've played some very difficult opponents up to date. Whether it's St. Louis and Columbus, New York, Red Bulls, Kansas City. So a lot of playoff teams. And again, I guess the silver lining is we can put it all to bed and focus now on this weekend and getting back to the league solely.
And then lastly,
we'll move on to Germán Benitez, who has his hand raised. Germán, go ahead. Germán Benitez, do we have you? Yeah. We'll move on to David Garcia.
Hi, Ben. How are you? I wanted to ask you, first off, you have, so some of these teams, right, you have some Eastern Conference teams that you might not see again, right, unless you make the final. But what do you take away from the tournament overall?
I take away that we're on the right path. And I think we've when you're in these tournaments where there's a bunch of champions in there and teams that have won the previous year, they're difficult. You have to play at a really high level. I think overall, the structure and the game model and all that stuff is there, and we're moving in the right direction. What I also take away is we need to be better in the moments right now. Right now we're making a few errors that are costing us, and we're not also giving us any relief on the offensive side. We could be more dangerous and a little bit more clinical with some of the final ball, but this is all normal early season stuff, and we'll get back, and now we'll have some time after a quick turnaround to start working on some things.
Ben, Herman, do you have anything else? I mean, David, sorry. We'll move on to Dustin Richardson. Dustin, do you hear us?
Yeah, hey man.
Dustin.
Hey, obviously you started Aliu up front tonight. 5 goals in 5 games, 1 goal in each game. Is the goals on this roster right now? Is there a forward that you guys are going to lean to, or is that when Sebas comes back? Just how do you feel about the offense so far?
Well, I didn't really play. Did you say Ibra high? I mean, I played Ibra on the left. He wasn't a forward. He played forward down the stretch when I went to 2 forwards, but for the most part, he still played kind of in that isolated role out wide left, and I thought he had a great game. I thought he's had a really good tournament. I think he's had a great season so far. So it's nice to see him. I've talked about him becoming more comfortable with this team and taking some time, as it does for a lot of foreign players that come into this league. As far as your question on the goals, we could use some help up there. Today I went with kind of a false 9 with Bassi, and I thought we played really well. Fatigue starts to set in and make some changes and some different looks. The goal hurts us. The goal really makes us change and adapt, and I thought up until that point it was pretty sharp. But goals change games, and now we're chasing it a little bit, and they're a tough team to chase. But we still manage to get something out of the game and make it interesting down the stretch. Again, goals, you always want more. And it's not necessarily just the number 9. Some of the quality, some of the passing, that leads up to those moments can be better too. So let's not just put it on, we need a forward. There's definitely chances out there if the service is better, or we make a better decision leading into kind of that final third.
That concludes tonight's press conference. Coach, thank you, and best of luck with the rest of the season.